Everybody needs someone beside them, shining like a lighthouse from the sea. Brother, let me be your shelter, never leave you all alone. I can be the one you call when you're low. Brother, let me be your fortress.
We all have obstacles to overcome that can seem like climbing a mountain. And for some, that mountain is steeper than others. Love Inc.'s mission is to mobilize the church to transform lives and communities in the name of Christ. Our purpose is to give a helping hand up, and in that process, transformational relationships form. We want you to meet some of the people that are the Love Inc. story in our community.
My name is Chuck Winter. I'm with Genesis Presbyterian Church, and I'm involved with the gap ministry of Love Inc. called Feast of Love. We decided that Feast of Love was a very worthwhile gap ministry because of the fact that at Thanksgiving time, all of us have a tendency to think back and say how lucky we are and count our many blessings. And at that time, we also want to try to think about people who are less fortunate than ourselves. This year's goal with the 3 partner churches is to provide 150 Thanksgiving meals for the Love Inc. client families. I think that the biggest part of being involved with Love Inc. in this project as well as other projects is that Love Inc. has interviewed the clients and validated their need, and that way you know that what you're doing is being a benefit to someone who really, really needs it.
I learned about Money and Me from my fiance who works at Love Inc. Money and Me really helps me with being aware of how I'm spending money on a day-to-day basis.
For me, I was put into a trauma that is indescribable. There's no words for it. It's just a horrible thing to go through. And basically a mountain that just landed right in front of me. And then I called you and you provided the equipment that I needed to be able to climb the mountain, and the lights that I needed to be able to see through the dark when I climbed it, and the resources that if you didn't have that other places do have, and just help guide me and not make me feel like I was alone, and let me know that I have God on my side. There's so many different little things that people don't realize that happen on a normal basis until a tragedy happens, and how important, just as if you lost your arm or your leg, you take things for granted and then they realize that it's gone.
I'm Becky Seckler. I'm the director of Giving Heart, which is a gap ministry of Love Inc. Well, we've had a couple of really cool things happen. One of the things that really brightens my day is when somebody comes in and says that they need help with a job application. And we have a volunteer that can sit with them and fill out that job application, and then they come back the next day or the next week and they can tell us about how they got the job and how they're so thankful for the time that we were able to spend with them.
I have been with Love Inc. for about 5 years. One story that I can relate to is a young mother who was coached and mentored to find a job and to put together the skills needed for doing a resume and for the job interview. And she was able to secure a job. In fact, she actually went on to get a second job and did that on her own.
I'm Janet Sackett, and I've been working here at Renew Treasures for 2 years. One that stands out in my mind, it was a newly single mother who actually she had a job, but her husband left her, and she was barely able to continue to make the rent on her home. And it was August, and the kids had no new clothes for school, and I believe she had either 4 or 6 teenage children. And so She brought them in and was able to buy them some new things to go back to school in. And she was extremely grateful.
Yeah, then I'm just grateful for all this help, because in a moment when you feel like you're alone, that nobody can help you, then you find a place where you know that you're not alone, that God is with you.
My name is Lynn Ann Heising. I am the Executive Director for Severe Weather Shelter Network. For people who live on the street, literally live on the street, finding a place to be safe on a life-threatening winter night is a challenge. So by God's grace, we have churches that open up their buildings and provide volunteers to provide a safe, warm environment for our guests. And that means a lot to them. There's always volunteer opportunity. I think one of the things that the churches have appreciated is the number of ways that people can participate.
My name is Ashley Howell, and I've been with Love Inc. for 7.5 months. I think it's such a blessing to have people there to provide these assistance, because it's been really hard. I've been nickel and diming my own gas tank, you know, putting 5 here, putting 10 there, just so I can make it to the grocery store. The gratitude that I have for this program is just, words can't express it. You know, I've even cried and give thank you cards to everyone, like, thank you, you know. I'm sorry. But this journey hasn't been easy, but God has surely been blessing me through it. And I'm really grateful that there are good people out here that care and are helping these mothers and families, these children, so that they can have something to look back on, so they're not completely hopeless.